What's up, everybody? Welcome to Heart Magic. My name is David. I am the host of this show. I am a patient with bicuspid aortic valve, and I make episodes about living with this condition, my thoughts on it. I am not a doctor. I am a patient, but I also dabble in lots of different types of health practices, do my research, and try to formulate an opinion based upon what it is that I think makes a lot of sense. And I am also the kind of person who is not willing to question what mainstream doctors are saying, because as we all know, the health system can be flawed, people can be flawed, and there can be a lot of important things that unfortunately us as bicuspid aortic valve patients are not able to get the awareness of. There's no research out there, or if there is research, they don't really make it accessible to us as patients. So I like putting out these episodes for that. So be sure to subscribe if this sort of thing has interest to you. Today, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I hope you're enjoying the new studio setup. I had someone sort of provide a hate comment on one of mine who said, "What are you listening to this dude for?" He's basically saying like I looked like I was in a closet, which wasn't a closet, but it did kind of look like it. And so I do have a professional studio setup. I have a full video studio setup, and I haven't been using it for this channel just because I use this for other things. But I'm starting to get into a better groove of using it for these types of episodes. So if you like it, the new studio setup, be sure to hit the like button and everything. So the episode today is about marijuana and bicuspid aortic valve. I had previously made an episode about alcohol, and the long and short of it was use with caution, because alcohol is bad for your body in general. It's bad for people with regular hearts, let alone bicuspid aortic valve. And I personally have had lots of problems with alcoholism in my life, family members with alcoholism. It's kind of a big thing in my world. So I definitely am always trying to avoid alcohol. Marijuana, on the other hand, is a different issue. And I had a specific person reach out to me on one of my videos, specifically asking for this. His username is Professor Party Pants. Someone who's definitely some of my cut from the same cloth. So his comment says, "Yo man, great watch, keep it up. I recently found out I have this condition due to a fluke. Sorry to hear that, but welcome to the club. My heart seems healthy enough even though I have this condition. I was wondering, because I heard you mention it in another video, could you make one of these videos about marijuana and bicuspid aortic valve? My doctor told me using combustion to smoke is no bueno, but there are many other options like dry herb, edibles, and so on. Curious to see what your take on the research and everything with this disorder. There's not much online." As I was just saying, there's not much online about this. So thank you so much, Professor. I really appreciate it. I've put together some thoughts for you here right now. So first of all, I definitely stand by what I said months back about alcohol. As far as marijuana goes, let's get into some more specifics. So unfortunately, alcohol is on every single street corner in America. Marijuana is one of those things that was demonized, even though it's been used for thousands upon thousands of years. It is literally a weed. It is an herb. It's not a grass. It's an herb. It's something that grows in the herb layer of forests and in sort of sorry, I'm having a brain fart here because I'm starting to switch between worlds here. So in like grasslands and things like that. So it's definitely a common herb globally, has been used for many different things. There's two different types. There's the CBD version, which doesn't not have the psychological effects, and then there's the THC version, which does have the psychological effects. The CBD version, you're more likely to get the therapeutic benefits. Having the psychological elements there definitely creates new paradigms that you have to consider health-wise, both psychologically and physiologically. And as bicuspid aortic valve patients, this is very important to understand. So first of all, if you're going to be using cannabis, CBD is a solid option no matter what way you sort of slice it. It's very therapeutic. There's no psychological effects. You can use it pretty regularly without really worrying about it. Now, the cannabinoid receptors in your brain, you definitely can get the therapeutic benefits of that from something like extreme deep breathing and yoga and these types of things. You can stimulate those things. So we can get high without being actually high. And as someone who's an amateur hypnotist, I can definitely tell you, you can make people high without them actually consuming any kind of a substance. So you don't actually need a substance to feel blissed out. However, as a lover of marijuana, I would say that it is for sure something that will have that impact on you. So feel free to use CBD without worry. However, when it comes to pot, I mean, I've been using marijuana since I was literally 14 years old. So it's not something that's new to me. However, I definitely came from a rebellious rock and roll type world where it was this was back when it was legal everywhere, and it was kind of one of those fun teenage games to play of just like, hey, let's get high, run from the cops kind of thing. And as I've gotten older and I've looked at it more of like in a responsibility sense, I can definitely stand by the fact that like marijuana is one of the most tame drugs that you can use. Now, granted, again, alcohol is a drug, coffee is a drug, any sort of plant compound that is concentrated that you filter through your organism is going to have a biological and psychological effect on you. So these days, I will say that pot is addicting, though. And I don't want people to forget this fact, because people will say it's a non-addictive substance. It's not addictive like alcohol. It's not addictive like sugar or heroin or cocaine. It's addictive more in a emotional and physiological kind of a way. And so if you ever feel like you're using too much of it, which I've definitely been in that camp many times in my life, you do need to take breaks from it. So there's that side of it. It's, whether you have bicuspid aortic valve or not, you do need to use with caution and use with appropriateness. As far as smoking goes, I will say that, like, for me personally, part of the reason that my heart went so downhill is because I was smoking too much. And I was smoking herb I went through some traumatic experiences, and the smoking side of it was definitely like a stress relief kind of thing, which is funny because it only created more stress. Most of the times that we're using vices for stress relief, it's actually reinforcing the stress. This is another hypnosis thing. So, my alternative to smoking now is running, because you get that same kind of thing going for you. So if you are struggling with smoking, replace it with running, and I guarantee you will get more benefit out of the running than from the smoking, for sure. Now, as far as bicuspid valve patients go, and how do we consume marijuana healthily or safely, whatever way you want to put it, I think that that's probably the best question to sort of wrap this all up with, which is that, again, smoking's bad. Edibles are more, you get a different high from it. If you smoke, you get a different high than when you consume and digest it. I have to be honest, I like the feeling of smoking, the high from that, better than consuming via edibles. But I don't smoke. I rarely smoke. I use it as like just for fun, that like celebratory social side of it, once every 6 months type of a thing. If I catch myself smoking on a regular basis, it's because I'm in vice mode, not health mode, and I'm using it as something that is to try to subdue my stresses, but it's actually enhancing them. So it's not good. And I'm looking over my notes here, and that's probably the most important thing that I have to say about it, is that if you're, like, smoking is not good for you. It's not good for you. It especially when it's done from a vice standpoint. You should also understand, though, you can smoke thousands of herbs. As far as humans readily available in the Americas, at least, there's, let's just put a simple number on it. There's probably a good 100 herbs that you could smoke for therapeutic benefits. Literally health benefits. I forget which herb I was looking at the other day. They were like, and it was a lung therapy herb. You smoke it to get the benefits for your lungs. This is a world that has been completely muddled by modern day factory farm cigarette factory building stuff. You have to think cigarettes, tobacco, that has been in use for thousands of years in therapeutic ways, in ceremonial ways, and it's only recently that it's being really demonized. Well, it's only being demonized because they put a bunch of addictive substances in it, and they make it accessible to you 24 hours a day in high-stress situations. This is why you should not smoke cigarettes, because they're literally made to be bad for you. They hijacked something that was originally good, social, and healthy for you, and completely tainted it. The best way to keep your lungs clear, though, is to not smoke at all. And I have to say that when I do smoke, I feel the murmur in my heart, that swooshing, that regurgitation stuff that's going on. And I don't think that I get the full impact of the smoke within me when I actually smoke. So this is a very interesting dynamic as a bicuspid valve patient, that a phenomena that I experience. But, when I look at the forums and I've seen other people that have asked about this, some of people have said that their doctors say, feel free to use marijuana. Feel free to do those things. I personally know that smoking is going to be bad for my valve in the long run, and I should just not smoke as much as humanly possible. And that's definitely my position that I take on the whole thing. So when it comes to health, there's so many altering perspectives and research that'll say one thing and then research that says another thing, and the way that you even just describe the research can formulate an opinion in people. So my advice to people when it comes to any of these things, whether it's alcohol or anything, put some hard lines on it, put some hard boundaries on it. Don't have gray area. It's not good to have gray area with these types of decisions. You want them to be either yes or no, good or bad type thing. So there you go. That's my take on marijuana. I think that it's a far deeper subject than I've even had the time to talk about right now. But definitely keep in mind the fact that the goal as a bicuspid patient is to keep your health as healthy as possible for as long as humanly possible. And smoking is just not going to provide it for you. I have many thoughts on many other types of drugs that are out there as far as what's good, what's bad, and whatnot. But definitely do not be taking any kind of white powders, pills, and these types of things to numb yourself. This is whether the white powders, I've known 12 people since high school who have died from these types of things. So this is real stuff. I don't take it lightly. I understand the fact that that addiction cycles and all of these things have huge impacts upon people. So do not mess around with what you put in your body, because it's going to really, really add up quickly before you realize it. Even from 20s to 30s, that small distance can completely change and alter your body for the worse if you do it wrong. So keep that all in mind. Thank you so much for the question, Mr. Party Pants. I love it. I'm glad that I was able to talk about this with people today, because marijuana is one of those things that has been demonized so much, and I've had to live with that demonization, even though I think it was completely unfounded in society, and it's really just created a bunch of unhelpful dynamics. The good news is, though, is that it's becoming more legalized, it's becoming more understood, it's becoming more therapeutic, it's becoming more ritualistic, and I think that those are the types of things that are going to help people intuitively understand how to use these things, rather than when you isolate people and isolate them from the truth about what it is. The experience of it, what does your own intuition tell you about the thing? So that's the thought to leave you on. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Heart Magic. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe and share this with anybody who may find it useful. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next episode.